Yeah.
All right.
Let's do
So
this.
I'm really thrilled to be here to talk with you,
Yeah, happy to have you.
Dale Drinker. And yeah, I'm really thrilled to be given such a an offer from a really amazing company. And so I look forward to having some discussions about if we can come to some sort of agreement about what that offer can be. And I saw the letter that you had sent me, and basically mentioned that I got an offer with a salary for $120,000, and and it's for a role which sounds really cool. I'm really thrilled to be given an offer to be sort of an assistant vice president, for this new brand of razors that we're trying to come out with. And I think that could be a really cool opportunity. And I'm really hoping to really give it my all. I'm ready to work as hard as possible. I'm fresh off of a Wharton MBA, and I'm ready to really put all of my knowledge to use and hopefully really want to make some huge impact on that team.
Yeah, that sounds great, and we hope to have you here. We spoke before, and we talked about salary. I like you saw that I sent you an email regarding. That was what we thought was a fair amount.
Sure.
And if there's anything other you want to discuss or you want to.
Yeah. So there's there's a number of things that just a few different things I want to sort of understand or talk about. There's a few different things that that sort of I value and things that I'm looking for, and same with you guys. So I'm just hoping to sort of understand each other. So for me there there are a number of sort of things that I'd like to sort of talk about. Maybe we can go through them one by one, and perhaps see if we can come to an agreement. So and just things that I'm thinking about. And another thing that you should know is that I have another offer from my previous company, which is for considerably more money. So that but I really again I really like this is definitely my number one choice, and I really hope to work here. But just so I do have that other alternative. If somehow things don't work out. So so the things sort of that are important to me, and then maybe you could talk a little about you. So for me you talk things that I would like to talk about would be talking about just the salary itself, and see if we can come to some sort of agreement. Also, I'm interested to know a little bit about job location, because I know that there is some sort of opportunity, perhaps in San Francisco, and I don't know if that really I really don't know very much about it. So I'd love to hear a little bit about that and what that is.
For sure.
Thirdly, retirement benefits. And lastly would be vacation. Then there's other other things that I'd like to talk about as well, such as like if there's an opportunity for bonus and equity in the company, and and maybe we can go through one by one. But I think to start, I'd love to hear a little bit about this other sort of job location, and what exactly, if you can give me a little bit of sort of details on that.
Yeah. So it's a good point. It's an important part of your job, obviously. So about the location. So your team, the Razor product launch team, is basically located in Trenton. So that's not in New York. We hope that eventually the team will move to New York, and then obviously your position will move with them. And as you said about the San Francisco office, there has been some talk about moving the assistant marketing VP out there in the near future, but there's absolutely no certainty about this, so I couldn't make any promises. But there's potential for that.
And who's the assistant? Okay. So you said there's a chance that this. There's a chance that this position could be moved out there.
Yeah,
there's a chance, but would sort of the people that would be reporting to me, would they move as well?
The people that work for you.
Yeah. They would also. There's a chance that the entire.
Yeah.
And how would so how would that if let's say that somehow we talked about and decided that was something that we agreed upon, so the company would be willing to move everyone out there if that was the case, and you would basically relocate everyone out there. Is that if that happened?
No, it's just for your position.
Okay.
Yeah.
But not necessarily. But you said also for the people who would be reporting to me, they would be relocated.
No, they will be in New York.
Okay.
Eventually, they will be moved to New York.
Currently they're in Trenton, and there's no sort of opportunity for them to go to San Francisco. The plan is, right now they're all in Trenton, and to move them to New York, correct?
No, there's no plan of that.
Oh, currently they're in Trenton.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, but they may or may there's no plan to move them anywhere.
No.
Okay. And so just
it's only it's only about your relocation.
Okay. Sure. And so it sounds like I will start in Trenton, but then I will be moved to New York. So what's what exactly is it?
With 100% certainty, you will eventually be moved to New York,
and
possibly you will move to San Francisco, but that is not certain.
Okay. No, what does that depend on?
I do not know exactly. Higher up managers have been talking about it. Okay. I don't know the exact details of that.
Okay. And when would I kind of get moved to New York? Is there any sort of? Sorry, I'm gonna move closer into here. I just realized that I was completely out.
Oh, you were a little bit.
When? Sorry. Well, when do you have any idea of when?
Right now, for me, that's very hard to say.
Okay.
I don't know exactly. It's in
is
the process.
But it could be discussed. Are we talking months or a year or anything from a few weeks to years?
To be truthful, I really couldn't say.
Okay.
But I wouldn't expect it to be a few years.
Okay.
I wouldn't expect that.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting to know. And how? Okay, and again, it comes back to upper level management. Whether they might. Do I have a say in where I if I get put in SF, or is it sort of their decision?
Yeah, that is their decision. It depends on certain factors, whether it will be possible for you to work from that far away from the team, and with the job you are on.
Okay.
These kind of factors.
Sure. Okay, so I'll keep that in mind. So we talked a little bit about job location, and just in terms of the job itself, just so I'm clear on sort of the job, So the job is for me, just so we're clear, to be sort of an assistant vice president, and of this new division, and of Razors, and I'll have likely 5 product managers reporting to me, and then each one of them will have somewhere between 7 and 10 people reporting to them.
Yeah, exactly.
So then okay, and this is like a totally new line. So do you know anything about how these other product managers that are going to be reporting to me, how are they hired? Are they already working with the company?
They are already working for the company.
So
they've already been recruited.
Okay.
Yeah. Only your position is the one that's going to change.
Okay.
Person.
Okay. So, when you say change person, does that mean that you had someone else that you were hoping for this position? Or
there was somebody else working there previously.
Okay, so there's someone else working in this position. Did they get fired, or are they in a different role now?
To be honest, no details are given
okay.
about that.
No problem. Hold on, let me just make sure that we're fine. And okay, perfect.
No details are given. It just says that there's a position open.
Sure. Okay, so we don't know what happened, or you don't want to. Either we don't know, or okay, we don't know.
Or I don't want to know. Trust me, it's the
no problem.
I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, I'm just trying to sort of hash out a lot of these little details that it's really helpful for me to know what I'm getting into. So okay. I'm trying to think. What else? So we talked a little about job location. I'm wondering if we should leave salary for last because that'll that's probably that's definitely the biggest issue if you want to leave for last. Or
sure.
Okay.
Sure, that sounds good.
So let's what about something just something really small would be nice to get some sort of signing bonus. Again, I mean it's a one-time thing, but I think for me something that I'm kind of in the process of doing is first off, I just have all this debt still from my MBA, and so it'd be nice just to have a little bit of a signing bonus would be a little nice thing to have. I don't know what your sort of thoughts are on that, but if you're I'd love to talk about what kind of signing bonus we might be able to agree on.
I think it's important to take into consideration the salary when we talk about that.
Yeah, most of this is a good amount of it is monetary issues.
Yeah.
So do you think do you want to take in it because salary in terms of
maybe
things that are
what because I offered you a certain amount and what were you looking at? Are you happy with that or? We feel that we have based that on fair standards. We've looked at other similar positions in other companies. We've looked at we've taken experience into account, similar positions within the company, and that that's what we came down to is 120,000.
Yeah. No, I mean honestly, it's I wanna work out good opportunity, but 120 unfortunately is a lot lower than what I was hoping for.
You told me that you got another job offer. Do you feel comfortable sharing that amount with me? What they are offering?
I'm not comfortable sharing the amount, I'm not comfortable sharing the amount. But I will say that it's much higher. But I also know that that there's another sort of recent Wharton grad, and he's also the same role but he's in R&D and he's getting a salary of $150,000 and also an additional 20% of pay in retirement benefits. I don't know that we're the same person, but for someone who has a similar background and is in also this assistant vice president, it seems like they're making a lot $30,000 more as well as 20% additional pay in retirement benefits. So that's something another thing that
Yeah, I understand. I definitely understand where you're coming from, and but there is a little bit of difference between position between the R&D VP, assistant VP, and the marketing assistant VP. There's a whole different technical background that's required, and the skill is more scarce to find in the marketplace, and it's much harder to find alternatives for that position. So that kind of comes into play here,
Sure. No, I mean, I understand what you're saying. It's just, and I know, I'm sure that she has, she might have a different skill set, but it just feels like for all the the time and money I've put into my education, I'm hoping that I can kind of do better than the current offer I have. For me, I am in a lot of debt, unfortunately.
Yeah, I understand that.
And I know that even if I didn't even get an MBA, even if I didn't shell out, all the money that I had to spend for an MBA, I would be making, I knew that I would likely be making about $120,000, like without an MBA even.
Okay.
So it just feels like I'm in, tens and tens of thousands of, almost $100,000 in debt.
Mm-hmm.
I have, and obviously a lot of annual interest on that debt, and it feels like and I was the whole point was to really get an advanced degree to help improve sort of my career and my performance and what I can do, and so that was another thing that's definitely on my mind. I'm trying to think. Maybe we could talk something that might be a little bit easier to discuss. It might be like vacation time. Would that be, or do you want to stay on the subject of?
I'm curious as to if you can give me some pointer.
Mm-hmm.
What direction are you looking at in terms of salary?
Sure.
What range are you looking at? And we can
sure
discuss that.
Yeah, I'm happy. I mean, in terms of what I'm looking for, would be again in terms of range, I mean thinking about kind of my skill set and like what I already have kind of on the table.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm looking, I would say for something that's also I would say $150,000. And like I'd just kind of basing it off of my other offer as well as kind of her salary. So $150,000, and 20% retirement benefits.
Mm-hmm.
And then another thing that might be really interesting, or ways that might help. I don't know if there's way to since this is a totally new team and I really want to I'm looking to kill this as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Be cool to talk about like bonus. I don't know if there's any opportunities. If based on performance. So if I do a great job, or there's sort of if this product ends up doing well, is there any opportunities for some could we talk about some sort of bonus? I think that would be a really cool thing. I don't know if what you guys do for equity, but I'm just trying to kind of throw out a few mutually ideas that might help us.
Mm-hmm.
Mutually kind of that way it only incentivizes me to or it makes me feel like I get rewarded for all the hard work that I'm hoping to do.
Yeah, I understand. I believe that there is opportunity for bonuses and performance-based pay.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently I haven't gotten any details on that. But yeah, to get back to
so nothing on equity.
I haven't gotten any details about that.
Okay, so we'll assume.
Yeah, I've not. No.
Okay, so
no details
I'll assume that you guys don't give equity to your senior, to your associate VPs. But yeah, okay, so perhaps a bonus would be a way to
I understand.
To maybe sort of something that we can work with. And then the other thing, then the other two things, although the last one, another thing I'm looking for is is just we could talk a little bit about vacation time, but we could talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, I wanted to get back to the salary first.
Yeah.
You
so I was just kind of
mentioned that you basically want the same pay that the assistant R&D manager wants.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid that's really not going to work because, as I had mentioned, the previous factors, the skill that comes into play, and the special technical background.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition to that, we do have an alternative person that's also qualified to take the marketing department's position. It's just
no, I'm sure.
It's just much harder to get somebody with that technical of a background. So that's why the positions are different, and the marketing position also has benefits that the R&D background doesn't have, and that comes the vacation time comes into play with that. So I think we can't really use that other position as the standard for salary. I
understand that. I forgot what I was gonna say.
I'm sure it doesn't go on standby.
No, it won't. It'll be fine.
So.
Okay, we got. 10 more minutes of video. Nice. So, all right. So I'm trying to think what the best.
So
I think it would be yeah. So she does she get vacation time, and like how much vacation time does she get?
The standard vacation time is 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 weeks.
No, yeah.
I can't give the exact details regarding vacation time, but it's 2 weeks standard. But usually, the marketing department has a little bit more leniency in that regard.
Okay. Okay. So anyways, all right, we can get to that in a little bit. Yeah, I'm happy to stay on this topic of, I guess, if we could think a little bit about, we can get to vacation time more, later, but in terms of, salary, so I kind of told you a little bit about what I'm hoping for. I understand that you guys, have, I understand that, what you're looking to do. So is there, and yes, and she gets, so I know, so she gets, from what I understand, she's making $150,000 and 20% benefits. So is there something, is there some way maybe we can kind of, reason somehow, in between, and furthermore, maybe there's a way to incorporate some sort of, bonus incentive in there, with the idea that, if I do a really good job, or if the company does really well from the work that I do, then you guys are, going to be well off, and I'm hoping to, benefit from that a little bit as well.
It's understandable.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I agree with that. Maybe we can look at something more towards 120,000. As we said, it was based on certain standards. 5% salary benefits, and we can negotiate bonuses, performance-based bonuses, like.
Interesting.
Yeah. The only thing is that I have got no details on bonuses, so maybe we can follow that up later.
Okay. That's kind of a bummer. I wish we had some tangible things we could talk about.
Yeah, I wish so. I also hope so.
Yeah, it's. I'm trying to think. Those are kind of some of the things that are on my mind. And I definitely, I can make considerably more money going back to my previous company. And again, this is it just feels like for the size of sort of this position, which is I'm going to be managing anywhere from 35 to 50 people. I'm just hoping that I can kind of make a little bit more. If I can make some more money, then this sort of very feels a little bit kind of like baseline. As low as possible.
Okay. So well, I think we're a little bit further now, and I was thinking, you've heard my arguments, I've heard your arguments. 150K is kind of impossible. You're not very happy with 120K. So what are you looking at then? What else are you looking at? What do you think is more realistic?
I'm trying to, I'm trying to think about a good. So what do we think is a more reasonable outcome? I mean, I'm happy to talk about maybe something a little bit lower. I'm hoping not to go too much lower. As badly as I want to join this company, I do have to pay off all this debt, and I'm hoping to really further my career as much as I can. I'm happy to talk about something maybe in the range of like 143 K. I'm happy again. Share any sort of insights that you have, or if you have any ideas you think might be good ways to solve this.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I'm afraid.
Maybe we could do some bonus. We don't really know how to define it, but maybe we can have some sort of bonus. I don't know if we could come up with some sort of several one or several. Just we'll call like success, or like success of level 1. We don't know what that is, but we can assume that there is some sort of thing. I don't know if that's like. We could maybe hash out when we actually know.
Perhaps some, for instance, after years of work, perhaps some sort of bonus in the form of options that can be exercised whenever wanted, something like that. Then at least it's not too, like, I can't give a percentage or anything because I don't know that, I don't know what the revenues are or whatever. But maybe, in terms of stock options, maybe that seems like fair.
Okay.
I think that's also a common way of doing it. So
another thing I'd like to ask is about how you guys sort of structure raises and how that works. I don't know if you have details about that, but I'd love to hear about
raises. I think it comes with performance and tenure.
Do you have any more specifics, or is that kind of all you...
I don't have more specifics, but that's how it's done in the company.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Performance and tenure.
Yeah, no, it just... Okay. Well, it sounds like you might not have that information, but yeah. No, it would have been nice to kind of know, but just how, if I'm getting a little less now, then, but...
absolutely, you'll get raises.
Yeah.
It's hard. What I can say is that we're competitive compared to our other similar companies. We're just as good, if not better, on them.
Sure.
You will not lose out on anything.
Let me just see what time we're at. Okay, there's 2 more minutes. I'm gonna stop it. Well, so I kind of made a little bit a newer offer. What are your thoughts, and what do you think?
Yeah. I'm afraid it's still a little bit too high.
What is sort of, the highest that you're comfortable, or what do you think the highest you're comfortable paying me would be?
I think the salary based on like fair standards, that what we have calculated within the company is 120K, but we could do 125. We hope that you're willing to accept that offer.
Going up 5K.
What?
I said you're only going up 5K. Okay.
Yeah, we really hope that you could accept that offer, and we can
and what
discuss other benefits. And
that's still, it's still like. I know. I mean, I understand that you have, that you're trying to, be competitive with the industry, but. I'm sure, there may be other candidates, but, obviously, since, you're talking to me, hopefully you kind of understand that I have a lot of talents, and I'm
don't get us wrong. We prefer you.
And, same as well. I really hope, I hope to be here, but that's still considerably less than, what my other offer is.
I'm very curious as to what your other offer is.
I'm not comfortable saying, unfortunately. I don't want to say. But I'm trying, okay, so we're at 120. So you said 125. I said 143.
Take into account, there's additional benefits. and the stock option,
which we don't know what that
which
is.
we don't know the details of, but
okay, but yeah, okay. Well, I think we'll keep talking, and I'm sure we'll come to some agreement.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm really hesitant to go, that much, that far down because I just, I'm really hoping to make,
We do feel that this is, honestly,
no,
we care about our employees. We wouldn't want to rip them off or anything, and we have based this on like fair comparisons. And
sure, but
we would really,
I mean, I understand that, but I'm still, I know that perhaps this, I know that it's hard to, with someone who also has an MBA, the same, similar role. Again, she had, may have, different, maybe more specific skill set in a certain area, but she's making $25,000 more a year, which is like still, a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I know I mean.
The problem is though the argument that I gave prior to this.
I think it's time to. Yeah, I'm gonna stop this. All right.